Life is what you feel till you can't feel at all. Life is where you fly and fall, running for the shelter, naked in the snow, finding that a tear drops anywhere you go, learning it's the mud that makes the roses grow, but that's the only choice you know. Okay, when the doctor started using phrases like "you'll pass away," what could I say? I said, "Doctor," in plain English, tell me why was I chosen? Why me of all men? Doctor, here's the good part. At least death means I'll never be scared about dying again. Let's get on with living while we can and not play dumb. Death's gonna come. When it does, screw the nerves. I'll be eating hors d'oeuvres. It's a roll of the dice and no crime. You gotta die sometime. Death is not a friend, but I hope in the end he takes me in his arms and lets me hold his face. He lifts me in his arms and tells me something funny. He lifts me in his arms and tells me to embrace his attack. Then the scene turns to black. Life sucks. People always hate a loser and they hate lame ducks. Screw me and shucks. Well, that's it. That's the ball game. I don't smoke, don't do drugs, and then comes the bad news. I quit. That's the ball game. It's the chink in the armor, the shit in the karma, the blues. Can I keep my cool despite the urge to fall apart? How should I start? I would cry if I could, but it does no damn good to explain I'm a man in my prime. You gotta die sometime. You gotta die sometime. You gotta die sometime. Turn away. If you could get me a drink of water, 'cause my lips are chapped and faded. Call my Aunt Marie, help her gather all my things, and bury me in all my favorite colors, my sisters and my brothers. Still, I will not kiss you, 'cause the heart is part of this is leaving you. Now turn away, 'cause I'm awful just to see, 'cause all the hair's abandoned, all my body, oh my agony. Know that I will never marry, baby, I'm just soggy from the chemo, but counting down the days to go, that just ain't living, and I just hope you know that if you say goodbye today, I'll ask you to be true, 'cause the heart is part of this is trying so hard not to cry. Allow your tears, my love. Let them flow, and in turn let me go. I will never go too far. You think your tears will never dry? Allow them just the same, my love. And though we'll never be the same, you and I will never be too far. Look around, I am with you in the kitchen, in the yard. Look around, I am with you in the car and in our bed. Look, and I am there, and everywhere you go, anything you do, you must know one thing is true. My life began and begins every day with you. You must know one thing is true. I am every day with you. So, why a show about death? I think it's all about what we do sort of in the meantime, because who really wants to think about that last stop that we take? And this next song I heard at my friend Risa Katona Bennett's Cabaret show, and I immediately went up to the composer afterwards, and I said to him, David, I'm doing a show about death, and I think your song would be perfect for it. His name was David Caldwell, and a handshake and an email later, I had the song, and I'm grateful that he allowed me to sing it for you tonight. A while back I thought I'd buy a cemetery plot. They were running a special. The most important thing in the evaluation of real estate is location, location, location. But I thought, it's a grave. Who cares about the view? Resale value seems pretty trivial too. Well, I bought my plot, and now I visit the spot from time to time when I feel that I'm getting too caught up in the old rat race. Paying my respects at my final resting place always untwists the snarls in my mind when I forget what's important amidst the daily grind. Recently I noticed 2 gravestones present near my own marked Jacob Grimm and Edith Pleasant. Being buried between Grimm and Pleasant has a certain cachet, wouldn't you say? Once late at night, I walked to the side, bringing my favorite blanket along with me. I stretched out on my grave and made a startling discovery. This grave has an incredible view, looking straight up. Starlight had chameleons of light years for me to see. I was struck by the heavens' magnitude and complexity, and I realized I'm part of that geometry. I never liked the verse that said, "Dust thou art, to dust thou shalt return." We are energy, interchangeable with light. Humanity is fears, hopes and dreams, bliss and melancholy, held together by wisdom, pulled apart by folly. So much more than dust. The Bible verse should say instead, "Miracle thou art, and to mystery thou shalt return." The light from these stars, this light that I'm seeing, started toward me before I came into being. The stars may have died out long before this night. Well, that's a scientific fact. My life gives off another kind of light. That light may shine on and on, long after the source is gone. Any questions? The late comedian Gilda Radner once said about her own death, "I wanted a perfect ending, but now I realize the hard way that some poems don't always rhyme, and some stories don't always have a clear beginning, middle, and an end. Life is about not knowing, having to change, taking the moment and making the best of it without knowing what's coming next." She called it delicious ambiguity. As we stumble along on life's funny journey, as we stumble along into the blue, we look here and we look there, seeking answers anywhere, never sure of where to turn or what to do. Still we bumble our way through life's crazy labyrinth, barely knowing left from right, nor right from wrong. And the best that we can do is hope a bluebird will sing his song as we stumble along. It's a dismal little world in which we live. It can bore you till you've nothing left to give. 7 underwhelming wonders, 7 overrated seas, 6 excruciating continents, Antarctica. Oh, please. Still, you mustn't let it lick ya, this planet, oh so bland. keep your eyeball on the highball in your hand as we stumble across life's crowded dance floor, as we push and we shove, we live and we learn. And when we finally leave the bar and we see that morning star, we pull our bootstraps up and homeward turn as we stumble through dawn's blinding sunbeams, barely knowing right from right, nor left from wrong. But as long as we can hear that little bluebird, there'll be a song as we stumble, as we stumble, fumble, bumble, plumble, as we stumble. Thank you so much. Thanks again for coming out tonight. This has really been a treat to do the show again. And we're doing it 2 more times, don't you know? Once more in August, once more in September. So if you enjoyed the show and you have friends who haven't recently lost someone, please invite them to the show. I want to thank Sydney Meyer for booking this room and booking this club, for giving me more dates. And I also want to thank Randy Lester, your server this evening. Please be very kind to her. Randy! And on lights and sound, he's so awesome, Bobby Kneeland. And please, one more time for my musicians, Dale Henderson. And Mr. Ray Bailey. This show didn't start out being about a show about death. It was something else completely. But the songs that I kept finding, or rather the songs that kept finding me, all seemed to have this theme of death and dying and transition and change. And one of these songs is probably the one that started off this whole morbid chain of events. It was, it's a song by Michael Feinstein and Marshall Barer. And if you sort of think about what do you do in the meantime, this is one of the answers for me. For love alone, I did what otherwise I never could have done. Though if I lost a race or two, I should have won. And aimed a few too many arrows at the sun. It has been fun when I was shown how very steep the price can be when love goes wrong. I held my hasty heart in check, but not for long. Somehow I never could resist that siren song. If some dark day I wake to find the love I thought thought was here to stay has slipped away. I'll simply say these are the breaks. One makes mistakes. I bought the lies, but now I'm wise, and from the ashes, like the phoenix, I will rise and sail the skies, for nothing dies that flies for love alone. But now I'm wise, and from the ashes, like the phoenix, I will rise and sail the skies, for nothing dies that flies for love alone. For love alone.
HECTOR CORIS.
I forgot to do one very special thank you, and a huge thank you it is. So I won't say I forgot. I'm going to say I was saving it to give it its own special spot in the show. It's for my director, Angela Shultz. Yes, I seriously could not have done the show without her guidance and her encouragement and her support. And she also has a show of her own called Kiss Me Like You Mean It, which is playing in this very room on July 7th at 6:30 p.m. There are cards on your tables. She is fantastic. If you haven't seen Angela Shultz before, you must come see her on the 7th. Now, those of you who know me know I'm not exactly the most romantic person in the world. I don't like love songs. They make me uncomfortable. I think they're just creepy. A lot of love songs are just plain creepy. I mean, if someone tried to sing sincerely to me, My Funny Valentine, I'd probably just either laugh really hard or run away. Yeah, I know. It's a lovely song. Please, don't get me wrong. It's a lovely song. But it just doesn't sort of fit how I think of relationships. And the weird thing is, I have been in a relationship for 13 years. With the same person. That's important. And he's actually not here tonight. Right now he's on a plane to South Africa. I know, I sent him away. For a little while. No, he's going to visit his family. But, so I've never sort of publicly acknowledged that relationship, and because I can never find a song that really defines it. Until I found this song by Ben Folds, and it just says everything I ever wanted to say. I don't get many things right the first time. In fact, I am told that a lot. Now I know all the wrong turns and stumbles and falls brought me here. And where was I before the day that I first saw your lovely face? Now I see it every day. And I know that I am the luckiest. What if I'd been born 50 years before you in a house on the street where you live? Maybe I'd be outside as you passed on your bike. Would I know? And in a wide sea of eyes, I'd see one pair that I'd recognize. And I know that I am the luckiest. I love you more than I have ever found a way to say to you. Next door, there's an old man who lived to his 90s, then one day passed away in his sleep. His wife, she stayed for a couple of days, then passed away. I'm sorry, I know that's a strange way to tell you that I know we belong. That I know that I am the luckiest. Good night.
HECTOR CORIS.